off the bench.
What a great game for him.
Always just a jersey number, now they know my name.
Look for him to be a candidate.
You're going to remember where you were,
Nice in the gym, I'm deserving of
which is insane.
coming off the bench.
The league is moving in a new direction.
He's done this in every single series.
I was coming off the bench.
No lead is safe.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Bench. I'm here with my co-host, Jimmy. Jimmy,
What it
what's
do?
the word?
What it do, everybody? It's Off the Bench. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And we got a special guest today. We got our boy, Jack Schmel. Jack, would you like to give yourself a quick introduction?
Yeah, why
Everyone know
not?
how you know us?
Yep, let's do it. These are my guys from college, same club at FAU, and we're a bunch of guys that just love to chop it up, talk ball, and so I'm happy to hop on this podcast and drop some of my best takes. So let's get it going, baby.
And
do it.
Jack is one of those people that like to rage bait when it comes to me. So I can't wait to see what he has to say about this video. And in speaking of this video, we're doing a ranking of the top 12 quarterbacks heading into next season. And let us know in the comments if you have any disagreements. And you have to prove those disagreements with what you want to say. You can't just say, oh, I disagree with something. And you have to tell us what you disagree about and then let us know why. And we're going to start 12 down to 1. So I'm going to go first. And we have coming in at 12, DJ Stroud, second year quarterback from the Houston Texans. Last year, he threw for 3,000 yards, threw 20 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. He's made the playoffs each of his years. He did have sort of a down year last year when you look at his stats compared to his rookie year stats, but that has to do with a lot of his receivers being out. I knew Stephon Diggs got hurt. I knew Tank Dell got hurt, and I definitely think that messed up his production at the quarterback end. And coming in at 11, I've got my guy right here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, the Lord and Savior of my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. Baker Mayfield was third in passing last year with 4,500 yards. He was second in touchdowns with 41. Okay. He did have 16 interceptions, and the knock on Baker is that he makes one bad throw each game, right? He has one horrible throw each game, sometimes more depending on the defense. But he always has one horrible throw a game that it hurt us in the playoffs against Washington. And I'm looking for Baker to take that step and not turn over the ball as much. But we had an injured receiver core last year. Evans was in and out. Chris Godwin, he broke his ankle on Monday Night Football. But we kept going, and he had a career year. And Dak Prescott is my quarterback who comes in at the 10th spot. And the reason why I put Dak Prescott up there, you're going to be like, why is he up in there? He only played 8 games. But in those 8 games, he was still productive. He threw for 2,000 yards. He threw 11 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Even though this is also one of his down years, I expect him to come back from his injury and still ball out. Okay, the Dallas Cowboys had no run game to help support that, and he was just going out there having to throw on every single down, which led to him kind of getting injured, and we saw him only play 8 games, like I previously said. And coming in at the last spot before I hand it over to Jimmy is Matthew Stafford. Now, last we saw Matthew Stafford, he was going toe-to-toe with the Super Bowl champions, the Eagles, and he almost upset it and won that game. But in the regular season, Matthew Stafford threw for 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. He's a little on the older side in this stage of his career, but he's still very productive. He's still a top 10 quarterback.
With the 7th spot, we got Jalen Hurts, and one of my friends is an avid Eagles fan, so he's gonna love
What's
what I have to say. Huh?
What's that friend's name?
Matthew McDonald. He's gonna love what I gotta say about the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. So we got him slotted in at the 7th spot, and with Jalen Hurts, there was an argument that was going on during the season. Oh, it was Purdy or Hurts. You remember we had that debate, Jack? We were talking about
Yep.
whether who was a better quarterback, and that was an actual thing that we were discussing and then had a discourse about. I think Jalen Hurts. The thing with him is he just plays his role well. He's not gonna put your team over the top. He's gonna take the smart reads, gonna take the check downs. He loves Dallas Goddard, right? Dallas, he loves, that cushion in coverage. Jalen Hurts is he's just a smooth operator, all right?
Absolutely.
He's just a smooth operator, and I think that he's solid enough to where obviously he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He got you a bowl, so he can win it. He's proven that. And we've seen Philly without him in the lineup, and their offense looked minuscule, right? So we know how much he means to that offense. We know how much he means to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. He gets them the ball. And obviously, when you got a guy like Saquon Barkley in the backfield, it takes a lot of pressure off of you as a quarterback, right? So he has a lot of help. But I will say this, Jalen Hurts he's consistent. He does what he has to do. I would say I want him to be more aggressive, take more shots down the field. I feel like obviously he gets the ball to AJ, but I just don't feel like he does that on a consistent basis to where I'm comfortable to put him in that top 5, right? I'm not there yet with him.
Here's the thing with Jalen, just if you let me chime in real quick.
Yeah.
Is, if you remember, they were 2-2 after week 4 last year. They were almost 1-3 because they almost lost to the Saints. And then they lost to Tampa. I remember, I forget who was hurt. A key guy went down. It might have been Goddard, but they were 2-2 after week 4, and he was having some fumble issues, some turnover issues. And then, something clicked where he just decided, I'm not going to put the ball in harm's way. So I don't know how many turnovers he had after week 4 and after week 5 last year, after the Jacksonville game early in the season. But then he finishes the season with only 5 turnovers, obviously in an expanded 17-game season. So I'll give him credit. He really learned to not put the ball in harm's way. And like you said, he did exactly what he was supposed to and took what the defense gave him. He leaned on, one of the best running games we've seen in a long time. Obviously, he's a great quarterback. He leaned on one of the best running backs we've seen in the modern era. A 2,000-yard season, had a chance to break the record if they didn't sit him week 17. Leaned behind one of the best offensive lines we've ever seen put together, and 2, Pro Bowl caliber receivers. And when you do what the defense gives you and you don't put the ball in harm's way, when you have such a talented roster around you, good things are going to happen. And that's why they ended up winning a Super Bowl, and he was a Super Bowl MVP. And I give him credit for that. He's gone head to head twice with Spags in the Super Bowl twice, and he's played great both times. So, he's absolutely deserves to be up there. Obviously, it's hard to evaluate an individual when you have so much talent around you. That's why it's, again, hard to compare him to a Justin Herbert, who's in a revamped, rebuilding situation with now a second-year head coach and a Ladd McConkey as his best, receiver. So that's why the quarterback position can be so hard to evaluate at times. But, based on his resume, it's hard to ignore what he's accomplished. That's why.
I agree.